When you mention history class, there are two images that will run through your mind: an old cranky teacher and sleeping students. History has never been much fun at school, and maybe it's because the students need more pictures and engagement in the facts presented to them. With that, we have gathered 10 historical facts that are so intriguing that you'll wonder why they weren't being taught in class. Are you ready to look back in time with these facts? Let's go! But before that, hello there! This is EdChat, your one-stop know-it-all to everything wise and innovative. So, what are we waiting for? Without further ado, here are 10 historical facts that will change the way you see history. Adolf Hitler's paintings. Not everyone is aware that, in addition to being a murderous dictator in the early 1900s, Hitler had a love for sketching and painting, which he pursued from 1904 to 1914. Unfortunately, his creative ambitions were dashed when he was rejected twice by the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. Following World War II, his paintings fetched tens of thousands of dollars. During his time in Vienna, 1908 to 1913, he created hundreds of pieces and sold his paintings and postcards to make a livelihood. Despite his lack of professional success, he continued to paint throughout his life. A number of his paintings were found after World War II and sold at auction for tens of thousands of dollars. Others were captured by the US Army and are currently being held by the country's administration. The general public's reaction to his art has been divided. It has been condemned as cold and unfeeling, with many claimed that Hitler had superior aptitude as an architect, as seen by how he emphasized buildings in his paintings as opposed to other aspects such as trees or people. Women prior to the Islamic Revolution. If you took a snapshot of Iranian women before the Islamic Revolution, it would look like a scene from any Western country's coastline. They had rights and they wore what they wanted to, much like what women in other countries can do today. They used to have that too. Prior to the 1979 Iranian Islamic Revolution, Iranian women were gaining rights in line with women across the world. Hundreds of women were elected to local councils, and millions worked as judges, civil workers, diplomats, and police officers. Those advances were entirely wiped out by the Iranian Islamic Revolution. The use of heroin to treat colds. The cliched picture of a cowboy in a saloon drinking whiskey after a long and exhausting ride on dusty trails is only part of the Old West's history. In addition to whiskey, opium dens were widely distributed across the area in the mid-1800s, and it's worth noting that opiates like these were thought to be a treatment for a wide range of physical and mental maladies, including alcohol withdrawal, cancer, depression, colds, TB, and even old age. In those times, it was typical to see individuals take opium cough syrup to cure coughs, as well as cocaine for toothaches or any other type of oral discomfort. These drugs function by suppressing coughs with narcotics like opium, and cocaine acts as a local anesthetic. Hiroshima's nuclear spectrum. How can we forget what happened on August 6, 1945, when an American aircraft detonated a uranium bomb on Hiroshima, Japan, killing over 70,000 people? One of the few remaining items in Hiroshima is extremely unsettling and horrific. Only the shadows, the effect of the bomb's radiation, etched on the road remains of the people who were unlucky enough to be in the wrong spot at the wrong time. In the aftermath of the atomic bomb being dropped over both cities, black shadows of individuals and things such as bicycles were discovered dispersed throughout the sidewalks and buildings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, two of Japan's major cities. Argentavis, the world's largest bird. The progenitor of condors and vultures had a wingspan of roughly 7 meters, which is equivalent to a 2-story house. Argentavis was the world's largest flying creature. This extinct bird, whose name means magnificent Argentine bird, flourished in Central and South America around the end of the Miocene era, which was around 6 million years ago. Many prehistoric specimens have been discovered in this nation. Argentavis magnificens was one of the world's largest flying birds. While Argentavis is currently regarded as the heaviest flying bird of all time, it was likely exceeded in wingspan by Pelagornis sandersi, which was found in 2014 and is believed to have had wings 20% longer than Argentavis. A. magnificens, sometimes known as the giant teratorn, is an extinct species found in 3 locations in Argentina's central and northern Epecuén and Andalhuala formations dating to the late Miocene, Huaycarian, where a good sample of fossils has been discovered. Hold on, please click the subscribe button to get notified about future updates. Also, don't forget to leave a like. Which of these facts made your jaw drop? What other facts do you think will make you change the way you view history? Tell us in the comments below. Now let's get back to the video. Old Romans also visited the dentist. Several centuries ago, the grin was significant, or at the very least, chewing was. The ancient Romans were able to construct primitive bridges that allowed them to regain oral functions through a very painful procedure. Gold threads kept the fake teeth together, which were fashioned of bone or ivory. The study of these Roman teeth was also linked to Etruscan dentistry, despite the fact that the two disciplines had quite different goals. Etruscans were well known for their aesthetic dentistry. Adult women in particular would have their front teeth extracted and replaced with fake teeth fashioned into a bridge with gold bands, according to the notes. Hugo Boss's Nazi outfits. It is impossible to say that elegance was not considered among the German ranks. The Nazi outfits are said to be Hugo Boss' 1934 collection. In 1931, 2 years before Adolf Hitler took power, Boss joined the Nazi Party. The all-black SS uniform was designed by SS Oberführer Professor Karl Diebitsch and graphic designer Walter Heck, who had no affiliation with the company by the third quarter of 1932. The Hugo Boss company produced these black uniforms, as well as the brown SA shirts and the black and brown uniforms of the Hitler Youth. The swastika is a good luck emblem. It is not the work of the Third Reich. The swastika has been utilized by various cultures from ancient times with a totally different message. The Japanese have reached the point where they wish to modify this emblem, which in their tradition represents serenity and well-being. To this day, the swastika is a revered, beloved symbol that may be found in a wide range of civilizations all across the world. The swastika became a symbol of evil, of death, and suffering for millions of people in Europe and across many nations. However, the symbol's original meaning of good luck, riches, and well-being were distorted. The Vikings and their 4 Allah rings. Did the Scandinavians establish business contacts with Islamic nations in the 9th and 10th century AD? It was a very implausible theory until recently, but it would explain the discovery of an antique diamond. Archaeologists believe it might imply that the Vikings traveled far further than previously thought. According to a new investigation of a ring unearthed from a 9th century Swedish burial, ancient legends concerning Viking excursions to Islamic nations included some aspects of reality. The silver ring, which has a pink-violet colored stone with an inscription that reads "For Allah" or "To Allah," was discovered during the 1872 to 1895 excavations of burial fields at Birka, a Viking period trading hub 15.5 miles west of Stockholm. A ship served as the Trojan Horse. Do you recall everything you read in the books, especially the Aeneid? So, forget it. The Trojan Horse did not have a belly that concealed Ulysses and the Greek warriors. After careful research, naval archaeologist Francesco Taboni, PhD at the University of Marseille, concluded that it was much more likely a Phoenician boat, specifically with an equine head that was named after the characteristic hippos, which is actually the same term used in Greek for real horses. As a result, the misconception that has grown from century to century has become a true legend. Virgil himself would have translated the writings into Greek, committing the gross blunder. Are your jaws still intact after learning all of these amazing historical facts? Well, folks, there you have it. That's all the information we could gather. We hope you enjoyed this video and keep on learning. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, then please subscribe and hit the notification button to get notified about our latest content. Remember, if you're feeling wise and techie, then EdChat has your back.